Krishna. Jai. So let's do our Caitanya Charitamrita invocation. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Veda Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Veda Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane. Jai. So we're starting in Caitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila Chapter 1 entitled The Spiritual Masters, and we're continuing from text 20. 20? Yes, Adi Lila, chapter 1, text 20. So let's, we can do this is now Bengali. Grantera arambekari mangala charana Guru Vaishna Bhagavan Tinera Smarana. In the beginning of this narration, simply by remembering the spiritual master, the devotees of the Lord, and the personality of Godhead, I have invoked their benedictions. See, that's the purpose of the Mangalacharanam, that when we say those mantras, then we meditate on the Lord and the devotees, and by just remembering them, we get their benediction, get their blessings. Text 21. Dinara smaranehaya vigna vinashana anayase haya nijavanchita purana. Good to go.
Such remembrance destroys all difficulties and very easily enables one to fulfill his own desires.
Yeah, I see the power of just remembering the Lord and the devotees. Just by remembering our acharyas, it destroys all difficulties. Bigna, vinasha. Yeah, bigna sometimes means obstacles. So like obstacles on the path of devotional service, we can destroy them just by remembering the Lord, remembering the acharyas, remembering our spiritual masters. And we can very easily fulfill all of our spiritual desires. Text 22. Se mangala charanahaya trividha prakara vastu nirdesha ashirvada namaskara.
The invocation involves three processes: defining the objective, offering benedictions, and offering obeisances.
So it's interesting. Krishnadas Kaviraj is the author, and he's basically explaining how he has structured the introduction to the book. So he starts off defining the objective, offering benedictions, right? We had that prayer, may the Supreme Lord, Son of Mother Sachi, be situated in the innermost regions of your heart, offering benediction, and then offering obeisances, right, to the Lord, to different deities, Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Govinda, Radha Gopinath. And the objective was basically Lord Chaitanya, right? The subject matter of the book. So now he's going to explain. He's going to explain, in this verse I did this, in that verse I did that. He's going to lay it all out. Text 23. Pratama dui shloke ishta deva namaskara samanya vishesha rupe duitra prakara. Daniel?
First two verses are specifically to the Lord is the object of worship.
Okay. Text 24. Ditya shlokete kari vastura nirdesha yahaite jani paratatvara udesha. Divya? Text 24 translation.
Yes, thank you. In the third verse, I indicate the absolute
Oh,
truth.
sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. Do it again. My sound
Yeah.
was off.
In the third verse, I indicate the absolute truth, who is the ultimate substance. With such a description, one can visualize the supreme truth.
Joy. I feel like going back to the third verse, just to visualize the absolute truth. Oh, yeah. So, third verse. He's saying in the first two verses, he generally and specifically defines the objective, the object of worship. And those first two verses are basically offer my respectful obeisance under the spiritual masters, the devotees of the Lord's incarnations, his plenary portions, his energies, and the primeval Lord himself, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. And then I offer my obeisances unto Sri Krishna Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, who are like the sun and the moon. They have arisen simultaneously on the horizon of Goda to dissipate the darkness of ignorance and thus wonderfully bestow benediction upon all. So that's the subject matter of the book, is Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, and their eternal associates. And then what does he say? Oh yeah, the third verse is indicating the absolute truth, enabling us to visualize the supreme truth. And that is text 3. What the Upanishads describe as the impersonal Brahman is but the effulgence of his body. And the Lord known as the Supersoul is his localized plenary portion. Lord Chaitanya is the supreme personality of Godhead, Krishna himself, full with 6 opulences. He is the absolute truth, and no other truth is greater than or equal to him. So this is the absolute truth. The all-pervasive Brahman, the Paramatma in everyone's heart, the Lord himself, along with all of his energies, all of his opulences. And that Lord is Lord Chaitanya. So Lord Chaitanya is the absolute truth. Okay, then text 25. Chaturta shloke te kari jagate ashirvada sarvatra magiya Krishna Chaitanya prasada. In the fourth verse, I have invoked the benediction of the Lord upon all the world, praying to Lord Chaitanya for his mercy upon all. That was, that benediction. May the Supreme Lord, known as the Son of Srimati Sachi Devi, be transcendently situated in the innermost chambers of your heart, resplendent with the radiance of molten gold. He has appeared in this age of Kali by his causeless mercy to bestow what no incarnation has ever offered before, the most sublime and radiant mellow of devotional service, the mellow of conjugal love. So, Krishna's Kaviraj is so merciful. He's literally praying to Lord Chaitanya to be merciful to us. Right? Sarvatra Magiye Krishna Chaitanya Prasada. He's begging. Magiye means begging. He says, I am begging for the mercy of Krishna Chaitanya. That's Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. For all of the people. Ashirvada. Sarvatra means everywhere. May this benediction be showered everywhere on all people, all the readers, all the students, all the hearers, everyone in the universe. So beautiful, right? Okay, then text 26. Se shloke kahi bahya vatara karana pancha shashta shloke kahi mula prayojana. Good to go.
That verse I have also explained the steps of Lord Chaitanya. But in the fifth and sixth verses, I have explained the prime reason for his advent.
Okay, so text 4 also with that same verse, he's giving us the reason for his incarnation, and that is to bestow what no incarnation has ever offered before, the most sublime and radiant mellow of devotional service, the mellow of conjugal love. And the fifth and sixth verses, we get the reason for his advent, and that is to understand the glories of Radharani's love, to understand the wonderful qualities in himself that she alone relishes through her love, and to experience the happiness she feels when she realizes the sweetness of his love. Krishna came in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That was his main reason for coming. Okay, text 27. Echai shloke kahi Chaitanya ratatva Ada pancha shloke nityanandera mahatva.
In these 6 verses, I have described the truth about Lord Chaitanya, whereas in the next 5, I have described the glory of Lord Nityananda.
Remember, those are all about Lord Nityananda. They ended Tam Shri Nityananda Ramam Prapadye, right? They're like describing the glories of Lord Nityananda in different ways. How Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshay Vishnu, Kshirodakshay Vishnu, they're just portions or plenary portions or portions of the plenary portions, amshas of the amshas of the amshas of Lord Nityananda. Okay, text 28. Ada dui shloke advaita tattva jnana, ada eka shloke pancha tattvera vyakhyana.
Let's give you a verse now. But the Lord, his plenary portion, his incarnation, his energies, and his devotees.
Okay, Jai. Text 29. Echoda shloke kari mangala charana, tanhi madhye kahi sabha vastu nirupana. Divya? 29.
Sorry, it takes me a second. Okay. These 14 verses therefore offer auspicious invocations and describe the supreme truth.
Jai. Text 30. Namaskara, ye sabha shlokera kari arta vichara. I offer my obeisances unto all my Vaishnav readers as I begin to explain the intricacies of all these verses. He says, Sabha Shrota Vaishnavere. So, Shava means all, Shrota means the hearers, all those, and Vaishnavere, all the Vaishnavas who are hearing or reading. So, we are reading and hearing. So, Krishna's Kaviraj is so humble that he's offering obeisances even to us. Us lowly people here in Dallas, Texas, trying to understand Caitanya Charitamrita. So, that's how sweet he is and how appreciative the Vaishnavas are to anyone who reads their work. Okay, text 31. Sakala Vaishnava Shuna Kari Ekamana Chaitanya Krishnera Shastra Mata Nirupana. Good go.
Sri Krishna Chaitanya as inculcated in the revealed scriptures. Lord Chaitanya is absolute truth, Krishna himself. This is substantiated by evidence from the authentic spiritual scriptures. Sometimes people accept a man as God on the basis of their whimsical sentiments and without reference to the revealed scriptures. But the author of Caitanya Caritamrita proves all his statements by citing the Shastras. Thus, he establishes that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality.
Yeah, that's something very notable and impressive actually about Chaitanya Charitamrita is that whenever Krishna's Kaviraj makes a statement, he always like backs it up with some verse from Srimad Bhagavatam or Brahma Samhita or Bhagavad Gita or Hari Bhakti Vilas or Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, or he always like he'll say something and then immediately he'll quote some verse, at least one, sometimes 2 or 3 different verses from different shastras to back up what he's saying. So it's very, very thorough. And he's making sure, because at the time that he was writing this was like very, what do you call it? Like avant-garde. This was like, basically there weren't books about Lord Chaitanya, and there were people, see, because when Lord Chaitanya came, he came as a devotee. He wanted to experience what it's like to be a devotee. That was his whole purpose, right? And so he didn't act like the Supreme Personality of Godhead usually. Only very, very rarely, to very select few individuals, did he reveal himself to be God or manifest the form of some incarnation or even of Radha and Krishna. He did that a few times, but it was rare. And even sometimes people would be like, wow, you're so amazing, you're so beautiful, you're so powerful, you're so influential, you must be God. And he would literally cover his ears and be like, Vishnu, 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 you know, like, what are you saying? You're crazy, get out of here. So he would refute and argue with anybody who tried to say that he was God. So this the facts about who Lord Chaitanya is didn't come out until much later. And really, it wasn't even the Goswamis, because the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, they all knew that Lord Chaitanya was Krishna. But Lord Chaitanya had given them specific instructions, namely to go to Vrindavan, excavate the lost places of Krishna's pastimes, write books about the process of devotional service according to the instructions they'd gotten from Lord Chaitanya, and write books about Radha Krishna lila, and which they did all those things. So they didn't write about Lord Chaitanya because they knew Lord Chaitanya didn't like it when people exposed him as being the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And because they were contemporaries with the Lord, it was like ingrained in them so much that like this is very top secret. So they didn't disclose it, but Krishna's Kaviraj and others who came later, they were like, no, the world needs to know this. The world needs to know about Lord Chaitanya, about his pastimes, about his character, about who he is in Tattva, Gora Tattva. So, so he's saying things that are kind of like, people are like, what? Right? Like, that sounds outrageous. And so he needs to be quoting a lot of scriptures to back up what he's saying. And he'll do that. So now this is just introduction. He's kind of just like laid out this is kind of like overview what he's doing now. This is the objective. This is it's just an introduction. And we haven't really gotten into, he's still just offering his obeisances to everyone. He hasn't really like gotten into it, but he will soon. So yeah, so he's saying that this is from the scriptures. I'm not making this up. This is all like 100% authorized. So please hear and read with rapt attention. He says, Eka mana means with the mind being fixed on this alone. Right? Eka means one and mana means mind. So with one mind, with your mind on one thing, and that one thing is this. Don't be distracted. Don't be multitasking, just focus on this. That's my request, because this is the real deal, right? He says, Shastra Mata Nirupana. This is all according to Shastra. Krishna Guru Bhakta Shakti Avatara Prakasha Krishna E Chaya Rupe Karena Vilasa. Is it? Right.
34.
32.
Lord Krishna enjoys by manifesting himself as the spiritual masters, the devotees, the diverse energies, the incarnations, and the plenary portions. They are all 6 in one.
So before we had Panchatattva, Makam Krishna, Bhakti Rupa Surupakam, the 5 truths. So now here he added one thing, and that is Guru, because the Guru is also a manifestation of Krishna. Okay, text 33. Ye chai tattve akari charana vandana pratame samanye kari mangala charana.
Speak 6, that verse 27, by invoking their benedictions.
Okay, good. Yeah, so he wants to get the blessings of all 6 of these categories of great personalities who are capable of bestowing powerful blessings. Text 34. Vande Gurun Isha Bhaktan Isham Isha Vatarakan Tat Prakasham Tat Shakti Krishna Chaitanya Samgyakam. Divya, would you like to read? Text 34.
Yes, thank you. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the spiritual masters, the devotees of the Lord's incarnations, his plenary portions, his energies, and the primeval Lord himself, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has composed this Sanskrit verse for the beginning of his book, and now he will explain it in detail. He offers his respectful obeisances to the 6 principles of the Absolute Truth. Gurun is plural in number because anyone who gives spiritual instructions based on the revealed scriptures is accepted as a spiritual master. Although others give help in showing the way to beginners, the Guru who first initiates one with the Maha Mantra is to be known as the initiator, and the saints who give instructions for progressive advancement in Krishna consciousness are called instructing spiritual masters. The initiating and instructing spiritual masters are equal and identical manifestations of Krishna, although they have different dealings. Their function is to guide the conditioned souls back home, back to Godhead. Therefore, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami accepted Nityananda Prabhu and the 6 Goswamis in the category of Guru. Isha Bhaktan refers to the devotees of the Lord, like Sri Srivas and all other such followers, who are the energy of the Lord and are qualitatively non-different from him. Ishavatarakan refers to acharyas like Advaita Prabhu, who is an avatar of the Lord. Tat Prakashan indicates the direct manifestation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Nityananda Prabhu, and the initiating spiritual master. Tat Shakti refers to the spiritual energies, Shaktis, of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Gadadhara, Damodar, and Jagadananda belong to this category of internal energy. The 6 principles are differently manifested but all equally worshipable. Krishnadas Kaviraj begins by offering his obeisances unto them to teach us the method of worshipping Lord Chaitanya. The external potency of Godhead, called Maya, can never associate with the Lord. Just as darkness cannot remain in the presence of light, yet darkness brings but an illusory and temporary covering of light, has no existence independent of light.
Thank you. Yeah, so Srila Prabhupada makes a very important point here in relation to guru being plural. So yeah, we have many spiritual masters. We have one who initiates us, or Diksha Guru, and we have many Shikti Gurus who are instructing gurus. And Srila Prabhupada says that the initiating and instructing spiritual masters are equal and identical manifestations of Krishna, although they have different dealings. So it's not that, you know, the Shiksha Gurus are less important than the Diksha Guru. They're all equally important because it's important to be initiated, but even after initiation, we need guidance, we need instruction, we need mentorship. So they're all equally important and they perform different functions. And even we can have multiple Shiksha Gurus, and some Shiksha Gurus guide us in some areas of our life, others in other areas of our life. And it's not that one is better than the other. They're all required and they're all equally valuable. And they're all manifestations of Krishna. Krishna can speak through each and every one of them. Okay, and together, each one of them contributes in a different way towards guiding the conditioned soul back home, back to Godhead. Right, text 35. Mantra Guru Arayata Shiksha Guru Gana Tanhara Charana Age Kariye Vandana. My turn. I first offer my respectful obeisances at the lotus feet of my initiating spiritual master and all my instructing spiritual masters. So he says here, Mantra Guru, that's the initiating spiritual master, and Shiksha Guru Gana means all the instructing spiritual masters. So, purport. Srila Jiva Goswami in his thesis Bhakti Sandarbha 202 has stated that uncontaminated devotional service is the objective of pure Vaishnavas, and that one has to execute such service in the association of other devotees. So this is a strong point here, that the objective or the goal of pure devotees is what? Uncontaminated, yeah, pure devotional service. And that it can only be done in the association of devotees. By associating with devotees of Lord Krishna, one develops a sense of Krishna consciousness and thus becomes inclined towards the loving service of the Lord. This is the process of approaching the Supreme Lord by gradual appreciation in devotional service. If one desires unalloyed devotional service, one must associate with devotees of Sri Krishna, for by such association only can a conditioned soul achieve a taste for transcendental love and thus revive his eternal relationship with Godhead in a specific manifestation and in terms of the specific transcendental mellow, rasa, that one has eternally inherent in him. Actually, Prabhupada is very clear about this, that our rasa, or eternal relationship with Krishna, is inherent in us. If one develops love for Krishna by Krishna conscious activities, one can know the supreme absolute truth. But he who tries to understand God simply by logical arguments will not succeed, nor will he get a taste for unalloyed devotion. The secret, and I was going to tell us the secret. The secret is that one must submissively listen to those who know perfectly the science of God, and one must begin the mode of service regulated by the preceptor. A devotee already attracted by the name, form, qualities, etc. of the Supreme Lord may be directed to his specific manner of devotional service. He need not waste time in approaching the Lord through logic. The expert spiritual master knows well how to engage his disciples' energy in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, and thus he engages a devotee in a specific devotional service according to his special tendency. A devotee must have only one initiating spiritual master, because in the scriptures acceptance of more than one is always forbidden. There is no limit, however, to the number of instructing spiritual masters one may accept. Generally, a spiritual master who constantly instructs a disciple in the spiritual science becomes his initiating spiritual master later on. So this is the natural, organic way of finding your Diksha Guru, is that person who all along basically has acted as your Shiksha Guru, who has instructed you from the beginning, answered your questions, given you advice, cared for you, corrected you, directed you, that naturally that person is going to be the one who becomes your Diksha Guru. That's the system. In ISKCON nowadays, it's a little different because we don't have so many local gurus. So, the people who trained you in Krishna consciousness, like they bring you up to the point where you're ready for initiation, and then you have to go searching the internet, searching YouTube to try to find a Diksha Guru. So it's actually a little dysfunctional in that respect. And hopefully in the near future, the not too distant future anyway, ISKCON can move in a direction towards having a more natural, organic system of initiating gurus. Like what we need is more gurus and more local gurus. Like especially whenever there's a temple community, especially a large temple community like this, there should be at least like 3 or 4 local devotees who are senior devotees, who are acting as teachers and mentors and giving classes and being available. And any one of those can initiate. And then devotees who join here and are trained here and grow up here in their Krishna consciousness, they naturally have a more intimate relationship with 1 or 2 of those, and then they decide who would be their Diksha Guru, and the others continue being Shiksha Gurus. But it's just natural that the person who starts off giving you Shiksha later becomes your Diksha Guru and continues giving you instruction as your Diksha Guru. Yeah, it should go towards something like that, and then, for example, around Dallas area, there's so many Bhakti Vriksha groups. So they're doing home programs, and senior devotees are hosting these programs and, reaching out and bringing in people from their neighborhoods that are coming to their house, and they're teaching them to chant, teaching them how to offer food, teaching them how to put on tilak, and, reading scriptures together. And then they start chanting 16 rounds after 6 months or so. And then it's like, what? The Bhakti Vriksha leaders should be able to initiate them, right? And continue. But yeah, it's a little awkward the way it is now. Okay. So continuing the purport. One should always remember that a person who is reluctant to accept a spiritual master and be initiated is sure to be baffled in his endeavor to go back to Godhead. Psh, that's strong, right? So because Rupa Goswami, especially in Nectar of Devotion, he's very strong that one has to take initiation from a spiritual master. It's essential. And Prabhupada also, he's saying that if you're thinking, I'm fine, I'm chanting Hare Krishna, I'm reading Bhagavad Gita, I don't need to take initiation, I'm a devotee, Haribol. Prabhupada says that if the person doesn't, if they're reluctant, then they're going to be baffled. In other words, they're not going to go back to Godhead. One who is not properly initiated may present himself as a great devotee, but in fact he is sure to encounter many stumbling blocks on his path of progress towards spiritual realization, with the result that he must continue his term of material existence without relief. At least don't be reluctant. At least be like, okay, I'm looking, I'm aspiring. It's a matter of time. Working towards it. Such a helpless person is compared to a ship without a rudder, for such a ship can never reach its destination. It is imperative, therefore, that one accept the spiritual master if he at all desires to gain the favor of the Lord. The service of the spiritual master is essential. If there is no chance to serve the spiritual master directly, a devotee should serve him by remembering his instructions. There is no difference between the spiritual master's instructions and the spiritual master himself. In his absence, therefore, the words of direction should be the pride of the disciple. If one thinks that he is above consulting anyone else, including a spiritual master, he is at once an offender at the lotus feet of the Lord. Such an offender can never go back to Godhead. It is imperative that a serious person accept a bona fide spiritual master in terms of the Shastric injunctions. Sri Jiva Goswami advises that one not accept a spiritual master in terms of hereditary or customary social or ecclesiastical conventions. One should simply try to find a genuinely qualified spiritual master for actual advancement in spiritual understanding.
You talking about Diksha Guru or just a guru?
He's talking about Diksha Guru,
Oh,
because Prabhupada's mentioning the word initiation here. And then, yeah, I mean, obviously Shiksha Gurus are already there. Like if you're already practicing devotional service at all, it means you've got Shiksha Gurus who have taught you, right, the processes and the practices. But he's talking about initiation. Prabhupada literally couldn't be more emphatic, right? He couldn't have made it more clear.
So clear.
Yeah, and Vishwanath, like when we sing in the morning Guru Vasika, Yasya Prasada, Bhagavad Prasado, Yasya Prasada, Nagati Kutopi. It means like by the mercy of the spiritual master only you get the mercy of Krishna. Without the mercy of the spiritual master, you cannot make any spiritual advancement. Nagati, Gati means goal. It means you can't reach the goal. And that's what Prabhupada is saying, you can't go back to Godhead. So yeah, because that's the process. That's just the process that Krishna gives. He says, Tat vidi pranipatena paripashnena sevaya udekshanti te jnanam ganinas tatvadashana. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. That's what Krishna says. He doesn't say just try to learn the truth by reading my Bhagavad Gita, or just try to learn the truth by like chanting Hare Krishna and listening to me. He says you need to approach a guru.
good question.
Yeah.
So it says there is no difference between the spiritual master's instructions and the spiritual master himself. In his absence, therefore, his word of direction should be the pride of the disciple. So I would imagine that a lot of devotees think that their spiritual master is Prabhupada, right?
Well, I mean, he's talking about initiation. So yeah, if he's talking about how like those who are Srila Prabhupada's disciples, who are his initiated disciples during his physical presence, after Srila Prabhupada leaves this world, it's not that they don't have a guru anymore, right? His instructions are still there. And so when they remember his instructions and when they follow his instructions, then it's a way of associating with him. And they can still avail themselves of his mercy by following his instructions. Because he's not dead, like the soul doesn't die, and the guru is an empowered person who can still be attentive to the needs and the situation of a disciple, even after his departure from this world. Yeah, there's that poem that says Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote, he reasons ill who says that Vaishnavas die while living still in sound. A Vaishnava dies to live, and living tries to spread the holy name around. So they live still in sound, in the sound vibration of their instructions. Right? So Prabhupada's disciples have all of Prabhupada's instructions in his books, in his lectures, conversations, morning walks, videos, all that. And yeah, likewise nowadays, all the gurus, all Diksha gurus have so many recorded classes and YouTube channels and all that. So after the spiritual master leaves this world, then yeah, like somebody was saying, I think Mother Nandini was giving class the other day, and she was saying that Tamal Krishnaraj used to listen to a Prabhupada lecture every single day in the morning while he's getting ready. And she said that she and her husband listen to a lecture of Tamal Krishnaraj every morning when they're getting ready. So, yeah, that's the idea, that the spiritual master is living still in sound. And the disciples can continue to experience that connection, mercy, association, even in the absence of their physical presence. That's the mystery of the disciplic succession. It's kind of a mystical thing. So, yeah, somehow or other, we need to take initiation from a genuine spiritual master. I found this interesting here. Jiva Goswami advises one not accept a spiritual master in terms of hereditary or customary social and ecclesiastical conventions. So, yeah, it shouldn't be like just because, I mean, nowadays, well, not nowadays, but children who are born in the movement to devotee parents, their tendency is that they'll take initiation from the parents' guru, right? That's often the case if he's still alive, right? So it's almost like a hereditary thing. Like the parents are assuming that, oh, our son is going to take initiation from our guru because he's our family guru. But Jiva Goswami is saying no, the choice should be with the individual, and it shouldn't be something that's rule bound by any social or ecclesiastical conventions.
It's ecclesiastical.
Ecclesiastical means like having to do with a religious organization. I think this is going to start. Let's just look it up here. That's why I found it very interesting. Ecclesi. Oh, ecclesiastical means belonging to or connected with the church. So in other words, the church can't tell you who your guru is.
So it feels like you basically have to figure out your own connection, like whom you feel connected with, and you have to present yourself in front of them, or like have some interaction with them, and then see like if you can connect together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there should be a relationship.
Yeah, there has to be a relationship. It cannot be just like on paper that, okay, you are my Guru Maharaj, sign. It should not be like that. It should not be on paper relationship. It should be an actual relationship.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's why the local Diksha Guru thing is better.
Yeah.
Oh, Divya has her hand up. Yes, Divya?
I just wanted to add, even if the disciples are not able to have a personal relationship with their guru, like a personal, in person, where they get, if it's a situation where they're able to see the guru maybe once or twice a year, if they go to India, even then, at least they should be, like living the instructions of their guru in their day-to-day life, and not just when Guru Maharaj rolls into town, or when they come, then all of a sudden it's be on our best behavior. It shouldn't be like that. It should be like they're deeply inspired by their guru's words, and it shouldn't be like an aesthetic. It shouldn't be like an aesthetic type of thing, like, oh, we're so and so's disciples, and there's some prestige or some I don't know, like status that comes with that. It should be like a sincere, like, inspiration, like, I'm sincerely inspired by you, and I know, following your instructions and your words, I will perfect my life and go back to Godhead.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, good point. So, yeah, it's not that, I mean, there should be a relationship, but it's not that obviously you're not going to be with your guru all the time. Just like you're not really with anyone all the time. But whether your guru is there or not, either you're serving them personally or you're serving their instructions, you're following their instructions in any case. Right? So, yeah, it's a lifelong commitment, basically. Yeah, Pragati.
So, like, what would be the best, or I should say, the right way of finding your guru? Is it like we go on YouTube and listen to different gurus? But it is like, what happens to me is I like everyone, like, because they are saying the good things. They are all
Yeah.
saying the same objective of going towards Krishna.
Yeah.
So, what should be the way, or how should we approach? Like, how should we actually find our guru?
Yeah, you just have to choose, if there's a bunch of gurus that you think are really good, that really like inspire you by their classes or kirtans, their preaching and whatever, then generally like you try to get their association. Like maybe you'll try to go somewhere where they are in person so you can meet with them in person. Like let's say they're doing a retreat or a seminar or something like that. You go and like, attend the seminar in person, and you get to be in the same, like in their physical presence.
Yeah.
Or if they're doing a yatra or whatever, try to join. And then hopefully you get a chance to talk to them, right? You get to meet with them. Like Aruna, right? Like she liked Kalakantaru, so she went to Krishna House retreat and she wrote to him and she said, "Can we meet?" And then they met and they talked. So like that, you try to get their personal association somehow or other. You can also ask them, like, even in their absence, is there any service that I can do for you from a distance? Sometimes, you can do things like help edit their books or do some, like remote work for them. So, yeah, that way by service, then you're going to be communicating with them. Or like for a while I was editing my guru's books, and so whenever I would come across something that I wasn't sure about, I would email him and be like, this is not clear, can you please explain more? And then so we were going back and forth on things a lot. Yeah, and then the relationship builds through service. So that's nice. That's the best way to do it. Yeah.
This gonna be an offense if you are like approaching your potential guru Maharaj, and then you be with them, and then you figure out like, oh no,
Someone else.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's fine. That's normal. Yeah, that's very normal. They're used to that.
Like, you spent a few days with them, and then you even did some service for them, and then you are like, no.
You're just feeling kind of flat.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So,
normal.
that's
That's fine. And there's really no commitment until you take initiation. Like even you can they say take shelter. That's when you literally like ask them if they will accept you as their aspiring disciple.
Yeah.
And even after that, you can still change. That's kind of like analogous to like engagement. You're engaged to someone. You're kind of like expressing your intention to be married, expressing your intention to be initiated. But before marriage, you can change. You're free to just be like, you know what? I don't think so. Right? I mean, you say it all respectfully and everything. But then like after marriage, that's it. Like the deal's sealed, right? Or after initiation, that's it. You don't change after that. You're not going to get another initiating guru. You can always have a shiksha guru. If after initiation you feel like more inspired by another guru, then you just take shiksha from them, but you don't, you don't take reinitiation.
So would it be okay if like for a few days we just go and like visit a few people that we are aspiring from and just be with them for like a few days?
Yeah.
That'd be okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, just get their personal association, because it's different when you're with them.
Yeah.
You get to know them better than when you're just like seeing them on YouTube. Right? Like you guys all know me. So if someone like just watches my YouTube classes, they're gonna get one impression of me. But if you live with me, it's different. You see all sides of me. So like that, we're all human. And so we have our on camera and off camera modes. So it's good to see what people are like offline, because that's who they are.
For example, we can be so much close to you and talk to you, but with all the brahmacharis, gurus, we have to be in a distance, and
Yeah.
we cannot have this close association.
Like we cannot be physically close. I understand what
No,
you're
like
saying.
how we're I don't know, but we have a connection with Prabhupada, like
We can still be emotionally connected with them, even though they are
Yeah.
brahmachari, right? It doesn't matter.
Or sannyasi.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, you're not gonna feel comfortable telling them everything. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Yeah.
please forgive me.
Okay. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, I mean, that's why we need Vaishnavic gurus. Is because, all the Vaishnavis, like all the, young women in Krishna consciousness, it's like, I mean, it's in one sense, the relationship is transcendental and it goes beyond, physical space and whatever. But at the same time, they don't have the same opportunities as the men do to serve their gurus, especially personal service. But even, yeah, it's just different.
What if like
You can't be alone with them. Someone always has to be there. You can't like just walk next to them and
So one devotee got the chance to actually personally serve him, put this food for him and water and everything, like have as a secret as a personal assistant. But we cannot have, and then the connection would be different for him, right? And we cannot have such.
but there will be other services available. It won't be like only the personal service can be. There can be other services for you.
yeah, other services.
Yeah.
But it's kind of annoying.
If you desire.
Like devotees, then it can be okay, right?
Yeah, you can be there, but you could just like, keep a respectful distance. Also, it depends on the guru. Like some gurus are very like, okay, Mataji's head covered in the back. I don't want to see you. Other gurus are like, yeah, what are you doing? Come sit down, Yeah. It depends on the individual. So it's not that you can't have a close relationship with them, obviously, but there are certain limitations when it comes to personal service. Say that. Okay, let's go ahead. Text 36. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath. Kritika?
Instructing spiritual masters are Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatan Goswami, Sri Bhatta Raghunath, Sri Jiva Goswami, Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, and Srila Raghunath Das Goswami.
So fortunate, right? All the 6 Goswamis were his Shiksha gurus. That's why he was so powerfully blessed and empowered to write this Caitanya Charitamrita. Text 37. Echai Guru Shiksha Guru Ye Amara Tansavara Pada Padme Koti Namaskara.
These 6 are my instructing spiritual masters, and therefore I offer millions of respectful obeisances onto their lotus feet. By accepting the 6 Goswamis as his instructing spiritual masters, the author specifically makes it clear that one should not be recognized as a Gaudiya Vaishnava if he is not obedient to them.
Yeah, so the 6 Goswamis are very, very important for us because they're the ones that Lord Chaitanya personally instructed. And we're Gaudiya Vaishnavas means we're followers of Lord Chaitanya. So followers of Lord Chaitanya means we're followers of the 6 Goswamis because the 6 Goswamis are they're the carriers of Lord Chaitanya's mood and mission and knowledge and message and everything. We get to know Lord Chaitanya through the 6 Goswamis. So yeah, if we think that we don't need to have a relationship with the 6 Goswamis, then we can't be a Gaudiya Vaishnava. Text 38. Bhagavanera Bhaktayata Shivasa Pradana Tansabharas Padapadme Sahasra Pranama. Divya?
There are innumerable devotees of the Lord, of whom Srivas Thakur is the foremost. I offer my respectful obeisances thousands of times unto their lotus feet.
Yeah, so he's offering obeisances to all the devotees. Bhakta Yata, as many devotees as there are, he's saying, I offer my obeisances to all of them. Headed by Srivas Pandit, who is the actually the incarnation of a devotee. I mean the actual like devotee of the Panchatattva. Text 39. Advaita Acharya Prabhura Amsha Avatara Tanra Pada Padme Koti Pranati Amara. Advaitacharya is the Lord's partial incarnation, and therefore I offer my obeisances millions of times at his lotus feet. 40. Nityanandaraya Prabhura Swarupa Prakasha Tanra Pada Padma Vando Yanra Muni Dasa. Good to go.
Srila Nityananda Ram is the plenary manifestation of the Lord, and I have been initiated by him. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto his lotus feet.
Just imagine your Dikta Guru is Lord Nityananda. Haribo.
I get some good goosebumps. You're done.
Text 41. Gadadhara Panditari Prabhur Nija Shakti Tan Sabara Charane Mora Sahasra Pranati.
Of whom Sri Gadadhar Prabhu is the foremost.
Yeah, remember, so Gadadhar is a devotional energy, and he's also Adi Shakti, Srimati Radharani. So he's the from him all the internal potencies of the Lord emanate. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Swayam Bhagavan Tanhara Pradara Vinde Ananta Pranama. Divya? We're going fast now.
Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the personality of Godhead himself, and therefore I offer innumerable prostrations at his lotus feet.
So Ananta Pranam, unlimited pranams, pranams without end. Because Lord Chaitanya is Swayam Bhagavan. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, the original. Text 43. Savarane Prabhure Kariya Namaskara Ye Chaitenho Yaiche Kariye Vichara. Having offered obeisances unto the Lord and all his associates, I shall now try to explain these 6 diversities in one. Purport. There are many unalloyed devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all of whom are considered associates surrounding the Lord. Krishna should be worshipped with his devotees. The diverse principles are therefore the eternal paraphernalia through which the absolute truth can be approached. So, yeah, these 6 things. 6 things are Krishna, Guru, Bhakta, Shakti, Avatar, Prakash. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, those 6 things. Krishna, the spiritual master, the other devotees, the energies of the Lord, the incarnations of the Lord, and the plenary portions of the Lord. He's saying that these principles are the eternal paraphernalia through which the absolute truth can be approached, and he's always with them. Krishna is never alone. He's always surrounded by these 6, by spiritual masters, devotees, his energies, his incarnations, and his plenary portions. And they are there so that that's how we approach Krishna, is through those 6. Okay, text 44. Yadyapi Amara Guru Chaitanya Radasa Tatapi Janiye Ami Tanhara Prakasha. Good to go.
Although I know that my spiritual master is the servitor of Sri Chaitanya, I know him also as a plenary manifestation of the Lord. Purport. Every living entity is essentially a servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the spiritual master is also his servant. Still, the spiritual master is a direct manifestation of the Lord. With this conviction, a disciple can advance in Krishna consciousness. The spiritual master is non-different from Krishna because he is a manifestation of Krishna. Lord Nityananda, who is Balaram himself, the first direct manifestation or expansion of Krishna, is the original spiritual master. He helps Lord Krishna in his pastimes, and he is a servant of the Lord. Every living entity is eternally a servant of Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Therefore, the spiritual master cannot be other than a servant of Lord Chaitanya. The spiritual master's eternal occupation is to expand the service of the Lord by training disciples in a service attitude. A spiritual master never poses as the Supreme Lord himself. He is considered a representative of the Lord. The revealed scriptures prohibit one's pretending to be God, but a bona fide spiritual master is a most faithful and confidential servant of the Lord, and therefore deserves as much respect as Krishna.
Yeah, so this is how the disciple should always view the guru, is that the guru is, in one sense, non-different from Krishna, being a representative of the Lord, but at the same time is a servant of the Lord. He's the most confidential servitor of the Lord. And yeah, Srila Prabhupada says that every living entity is eternally a servant of the Lord, eternally a servant of Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Therefore, the spiritual master cannot be something else. He has to also be a servant of Lord Chaitanya. So he doesn't pose as the Lord, but he is considered the representative of the Lord. So in that sense, the person who's representing that person, they're honored as much as the person. So we honor the spiritual master as much as we honor the Lord, but we understand that he's not exactly the Lord, but that he's a very intimate servant of the Lord, and he knows the ways and means to bring us to the Lord, lotus feet of the Lord. Okay, we better stop here. Any reflections on what we've read today?
Get the spiritual.
Get a spiritual master. Yeah. Very cool. Oh my God. If you don't follow the six Goswamis. Yeah. So we've heard the importance of the six Goswamis. We've heard that we have to approach the Lord by approaching the spiritual master and also paying respects to his energies, his incarnations, all these six things. And that there's no difference between a Shiksha Guru and a Diksha Guru in terms of their importance, but their relationship, I mean, the dealings are different. One initiates, the others instruct. In some sense, sometimes the relationship with the Diksha Guru is more formal, and whereas the relationship with the Shiksha Guru is more informal, can be more casual, more relaxed. Yeah.
So that's the thing, like how much, what kind of relationship you are looking for with your Diksha Guru? Are you looking for a formal relationship that you just get the initiation and then after that you're just like, okay, he's my Guru Maharaj, but I don't get the chance to be with him one-to-one?
Yeah.
Or you're looking like very personal relationship, like.
Yeah.
So which one is more advisable, or both are?
Well, it just depends on you. That's your individual choice. Yeah, whenever I do the ISKCON Disciples course, I always tell the devotees to just make a list of, your dream guru. What are the qualities, accessibility, all the different things that in your mind is the perfect guru. Because the gurus are different. And then, according to that, you try to find someone who ticks your boxes, basically, who meets your needs as a disciple.
First thing is, I think we need to get the disciple course so that we understand.
Yeah, can we do the?
Yeah.
Usually Nutikishori teaches it.
He told us, but then he never told us the date for it. So it's like we are hanging in there. Yeah, we need to do the.
Yeah, maybe we can do it before I go to India. We were talking about sort of team teaching it. She could do some parts, I can do some parts.
Get that thing done, so at least that would be like something done.
Yeah.
Yeah, how do we we don't know about what are, actually we don't know what are our needs for a guru. Like when we find a guru and then we figure out, oh, I need this, but I cannot get this from the. So how do we actually
What did you say?
find these?
Did you say?
You get initiated, but then there's some unfulfilled needs.
Yeah.
Well, then you have to get a Shiksha Guru. You get some support. And also, I mean, basically it's like, you can't, I mean, even with marriage or friendship or anything, you can't expect that one person is gonna satisfy all your needs in life. Right? That's why we have varieties of relationships. Because people are different and we're jivas, we're small, we're limited.
I also wonder, like, if the relationship with the Diksha Guru is gonna be formal, then it's gonna be very superficial, like, isn't it not?
Not necessarily. See, some people, like, if they have a Shiksha Guru that's more informal, that it's relaxed, then sometimes it's hard for them to take seriously the instruction. Right? Whereas somebody that you have a very formal relationship, it's like you're going to see them, like, you're like shaking, you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna go see my Diksha Guru. And then you ask the Diksha Guru a question, and then Diksha Guru gives an answer, and you're just like, that's like from God, you know? So that can be good, you know, to have that gravity in the relationship, that you take very seriously what they say.
Oh, so by formal, okay, I understood you said formal. Okay, I think I was confused between formal and personal. So by personal, I felt like personal means like you know them personally and like you are able to approach them personally. That's what I thought.
I mean, you
formal
can.
is a different thing.
Yeah, formal means it's like,
Even though you're personally with them, they're not opening up.
you're
for
not
you.
just being over familiar, like, hey, Gurudev, what's up, how's it going? You know, you're like paying obeisances and Hare Krishna, how can I serve you? You know, it's like, yeah, it's formal.
Both. Like to be able to communicate with them openly, but at the same time have respect. I
Mhm.
want that openness. Like I just don't want it to be very close.
Right. Yeah, yeah, I think that's important too. Okay, we better wrap it up.
We need to get the disciple coach done. Let's make it a priority.
Let's see what they're talking about on YouTube here. Oops. Oh, no one's saying, everybody's quiet. Everybody's mesmerized by Krishna's Kaviraj's ecstatic offerings of obeisances. Okay, then we shall wrap it up. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada.